shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. While the music was playing, I thought Walter was dancing, but it turns out he was just typing. So, all right. Hope everybody had a good week. How was your week, CW?
It was a pretty good week. We had a little bit of rain. We got some really warm temperatures. It was 47 the other day. It was 48 today. No wind. I got to the range yesterday and today. Good times. Good stuff. Hillbilly, how was your weather? How are you doing this week?
Oh man, it's pretty good. Last weekend started a week. We had some really good weather, like 60s, even up in 70 really. And later on this week, it's going to sound funny, but it's got too cold because it's like 43. You cooled off quite a bit, but yeah, we had a great week though. I mean, we also got just a little shower rain here and there, so yeah, good week though. Six, how about you, buddy?
I've been pretty good. Not too bad for going back to work after being off for over 2 weeks, so wasn't too bad. Made it through that. Got a little work done around the house. Got some reloading stuff accomplished. Weather. We just had a front blow through here just a few minutes ago. The temperatures aren't dropping any. It's still 71.
Oh wow!
One. Goodness gracious!
But it's supposed to be down.
Yeah, we get it tomorrow
in the morning, and stay in the 50s tomorrow. So, how about you, Rebel?
The weatherman totally blew the forecast today, and of course, all I get is Charlotte weather. Might as well look at my phone and get it. They're worried about the Panthers game, which they're going to lose. So, whoopee. And anyway, it rained all day, and they didn't say nothing about raining all day. But we get Texas front tomorrow about 4 o'clock, and but predicted thunder and lightning and whatever. But then it goes back to normal temperatures, which normal highs around here this time of year, high 40s. So I'm sick of this. There was a video on Instagram, and the guy was like, "Oh, you're moving to North Carolina?" Well, guess what? We had all 4 seasons of weather last week, and it's the truth. It seems like that's happening in a lot of places. Other than that, business was a little slow, typical this time of year, and got some layaways that are going to come to fruition tomorrow, so expect a good cash day tomorrow, and that's about it. Working on my getting ready. So anxious to get my barrel from Krieger. Working on that custom little triple deuce. That's going to be such a sweet gun. Can't wait to show it off. And it's to you, Walter. And I got my finger the right way.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, I had a decent week. I didn't get to the range this week. The last 30 days we've had almost a foot of rain here, which is pretty much what we normally get in an entire year. And our soils here just don't handle it very well. And the range was muddy and gross. And then I was going to go yesterday, and I looked at the forecast, and it was going to be, at the time I normally show up at the range, was going to be 38, 39, which isn't, I mean, it's California cold, but the winds were going to be gusting to over 40. So I said, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So I'll go twice next week. And in the meantime, I got some bench work done, got quite a bit of casting done this week, and I'm making some upgrades to a couple of my presses. And one I have to thank Six for, because I think he saved me some money, because I had my finger on the go button to pick up some of those tubes. And then he said, no, don't buy those yet. They're not the right size. Talking about pickup tubes for the
primer.
for the RCBS bench prime. Great tool.
Yeah.
Who have them, know what that's all about. I've made a couple six. I ought to show you. Just out of some brass tubing. They're pretty easy to make with for small pistol primers with just hardware store available stuff, and they work better than others. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna try, and this is Papa's place. It's all his fault. He just cost me about $65. He asked me the other day, "What about these deals for your Lee 4-hole classic turret press to reverse the direction and have a case kicker?" Because you can only take the case out on the left side of the press because the arm, the ram arm is on the right side. You can't put a pickup pin or anything over there. So I've sent him a couple links. He goes, "Oh, those are expensive." Well, Inline Fab makes a kit with a new plate and the new rod. And it's the rod that's the opposite twist that's hard to come by. If you could come by those, you could rig up the rest of it easy. But so I ordered one. I'm gonna try it. I'll do a video on it. Mario Mostine had it, and he likes his. So I thought, well, I'll give that a try. So anyway, more money, faster horses, older whiskey, or maybe it's older women. I don't know. The biggest problem with dating older women?
Catching them?
No, catch them pretty easy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They all look so damn old. The side of it is that your eyes are going bad at the same time, so it's not such a big deal. Good thing she's not in here. She'd shoot me. She can shoot too. Probably never ought to teach them to sharpen a knife or shoot a gun. I don't know, guys. But anyhow. All right. Hey, Andy, what's happening down your way?
Very warm for us, 48 degrees. Sun was out half the day, and now it's raining. So that was the day. It's a nice day, basically, in the neighborhood. Not going into left field too much, but the ice shooting of the woman. We had a bunch of visitors at my place today. Now we're military level stuff, so we had some interesting visitors. I can't tell you who their ranks were and stuff, but they sat down and they pulled up videos of what actually happened that you guys have never seen. Okay, they have audio of the whole thing. The whole thing. They have the audio of everything that went down. Okay, amazing. I'm not really at liberty to really talk about it because it's shown to us in confidence. But it will come out more and more over the next few days. What the ICE agent did was totally justified. You hear everything. The ICE guy that came out of the SUV, the silver Toyota, I think it was, whatever it was. You can hear him talking to her from that car as he was walking towards her. She refused to cooperate in any fashion, form, or way. Amazing. And there's more dug up on her. The FBI's done the whole thing already. They got so much on this, the lady and her wife, all kinds of things about her kids and her family. You have no idea. No idea. Most of it will come out in the next few days, but beware.
Yeah.
Some of it, they're not going to show you the heavy graphic stuff, but she actually this guy was actually hit by the car, the guy that was in front of it. He bounced off the car as he pulled his pistol and did the deed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't understand that whole situation. Those guys are in there picking up child molesters and thieves and killers, and
they're going after
people are saying get out of town.
They're going after the bad illegals and anyone that illegally illegals that are harassing them. They're not touching everybody. They really aren't. Okay, but it's just amazing what really went down. The stuff the public never hears or sees.
Yeah,
it's like I have two people I'm friends with, and they're telling me, how much I don't know what I'm talking about. The videos so different. And I says, well, you'll see the new videos some newer videos with audio over the next few days, which I doubt will change your mind. They said, because you're a Dumbocrat, your brain they didn't like that at all. I said, I'm telling you, like that. And they're already. There was a few of them on YouTube already. There's some on YouTube already, and there's some on Facebook already. They're on X. They're on all the they're all popping out, all these videos. So anyway, other than that, the world's a mess, and all the people sitting in this room can't control the damn thing that's going on.
I did see the GoFundMe for her wife or girlfriend or whatever it was is over $1 million, like 1.4 million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what that. When you find out about her kids, the kids and stuff, everything that is involved, your attitude will, if you're on ISIS side, you're really going to be on ISIS side after you see all this stuff. She was not a good person. Never mind her beliefs and whatnot. She was paid to be there. She was the lead activist in the caravan that was blocking the road. I mean, there's just so much. So that's it.
Well, thank y'all guys for being here tonight.
How's your week, Jamie?
You don't want to know, man.
Curious minds want to know.
It was pretty tough, but we won't get into that right now. That's a different story for a different time. But tonight we want to talk a little bit about 44s, and one of the reasons is CW got a new revolver.
I did.
See if I can do this. This might surprise him, but probably not.
Hello, everybody. DW here. 44 special. I already got some bullet holes out there. Let's try a double action. This is my Keith load. This is averaging about 940. Let's see what we can do here.
He's shooting through the camera, you guys. It's amazing. Watch this recoil. Boom, man. Got a little short barrel. Yeah.
Good shooting.
So different, Brian.
Look at
Pretty
that.
damn good, I'd say.
I know.
It's a shooter.
Shooting exactly the same
DW,
spot.
ow! Hello, everybody.
I've done that shooting through the camera. That's tough.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, there's Uncle Bob in the background.
Uncle Bob. I don't see him yet. I don't know where he is.
Yeah. And that 44
Uncle-
special ain't no joke, man.
No, not at all.
No.
It was
Mm-mm.
that load is 225-ish grain, 429, 421 with a giant hollow point. If you don't know, that's about a 250 grain bullet. So that's a
Mhm.
hollow point.
Yeah.
26 grains of lead.
I'm surprised your camera.
Yeah, it was torquing you pretty good.
And that was going about 945 average out of a 3-inch barrel.
Yeah. Yeah. I shoot my
Come on, you can.
421s with 7.5 grains of unique, and out of my 5-inch barrel, I only get 925 out of it.
That load is 7.8.
Yeah, 0.3 of a grain. It's like you always say, different is different is different. Different gun, different altitude, different temperatures.
Well,
On a hot day, that
unique
one
is,
might have gone faster.
unique is unique in that way. Just a little bit, little dabble do you.
Yeah.
It's like
CW, you need
800
to summon your inner jelly Bryce. Yeah, inner jelly Bryce.
Bull's asking you what mold.
Oh,
CW,
that was the Lyman 429421.
Hollow Point.
Yeah, except his was the hollow point version.
Yeah, so that bullet runs about 250 as
Mhm.
a solid. So that's a huge hollow point to remove 25 grains of lead.
Heck yeah. Is that custom hollow point mold? Yeah.
It's all the way down past the grease groove inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they were drilling for oil in the tip of that bullet.
My buddy's
at the bottom so it don't blow through it.
My buddy's dad. Yeah, exactly. My buddy's dad made that up back in the 60s, 50s. I don't know when. For a 44 special bulldog. So, kind of neat.
Yeah, that's a good looking bullet. Walks is busting your chops there, CW.
Hawks is, Roger is, he's good at that.
Yeah.
He also loves the 270, so you got to take everything into consideration.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he doesn't like purple powder coat either. I mean, gee, Merry Christmas.
We love you, Raj. We love you.
Yeah,
My wife
Bull.
loves her purple bullets.
Do what's it?
My wife loves her purple bullets.
Yeah. I'll just say this, and we won't get into it too much, but brother, you just gotta love an MP mold. I only own one, but it won't be the last. Big old brass thing gets heavy though. All right, so we're going to go through the room and show y'all some of our 44s, if I can figure this out.
Whose TV's on? That subwoofer's killing me.
My wife's got the TV blasting downstairs, so maybe it's me.
Oh, man, that's got a good sound system.
It's the Bose system.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's a
What do you need? I have nothing for you.
25-year-old Bose system
I have nothing for you. Go lay down.
with a big subwoofer and crazy system.
Okay, here's a better look at that pistol we just saw on the range.
See if I can lower my mic a little bit. Maybe it's.
That's better, Andy.
Look, Mr. Kyle.
Kyle?
Sorry I'm late, gentlemen.
Hey, Kyle. Good to see you.
There you go.
Ooh.
I really like the looks of that flukeless cylinder there.
Yep. Me too.
And while we're on the subject, let's take a look at
What the hell is a damn sound control? Okay, speakers.
here we go.
Okay, let's see if we can lower this.
Here's another of CW's.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
I lowered it quite a bit, so see if that helps. It's still bouncing around like a nut on the screen.
Yeah, it is.
Tell us about that one, CW.
That's a Browning commemorative grade 2 44 Magnum. It's a copy of a 1892 Winchester.
Let's blow this up and get a look at that scrolling.
That is sweet. Man,
That's beautiful.
that is.
But we got a better look at that wood here. Look at the figuring on that.
Yeah, it's a pretty piece of wood.
That is gorgeous.
Okay, lowered it more. I can't go any lower. It'll be off.
Well, you still sound good and loud, so
Okay.
it seems better in the background.
I lowered it as much as I can without turning it off. So I don't know. The wife just likes to, whenever I'm upstairs, she turns this thing, the volume up. You got to be deaf.
It happens.
Yeah, every time I'm online with a live chat, Fridays and Saturday nights.
There you go. Look at that wood. Look at that.
Oh, that's double gorgeous.
That's some mighty fine figuring there.
Yep. They knew how to do commemoratives good back then.
Six has two. I like this one. Six, are you ready to tell us about this one?
Sure. Not much about them, but
He's like, I don't know which one you're going to show, but yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Army
Story
San
behind
Marcos.
it too.
That
Yep.
is sweet.
That's the Army
Oh,
San Marcos
man.
44 cap and ball. Those are custom grips that I had made. So
And I'm going to get into that one in just a few minutes after we show some more pictures.
it is a 44. So
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's a clone of I guess that's the Army model, right?
60 or 61.
it's a 60.
Yeah.
Colt.
Called 1860. Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, we got another one here from 6 too, if I can find it. Yeah, a lot of you guys are going to like this one.
Nice.
Yep.
10-inch contender.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a real breaker from way back.
That's a deer fetcher right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't read the description and everything in the link, so I didn't get a chance to send you any pictures. I kind of slid in here sideways.
That was a Burris 2.5 to 7 scope on it.
Yeah. I got this one. I don't have it mounted on anything yet, but I intend to. My new buddy Bull over in Alabama sent me a link for some for a mount that it was in mine, and you'll see it on here. Let's wait till I get to my pictures. We'll talk about that. We've got a whole barrage of pictures from our buddy Walter and Rebel. So let's get to which one of y'all want to go first?
Let Walter go first.
Okay. Oh, bless you, Andy.
Thank you.
This is a small picture that I'm blowing up. So it's going to look a little bit grainy, I'm afraid. And there we go.
That picture I have in my background, I don't own that anymore. That's not a picture of mine, but I had a matching pair of those 8.5-inch barrels. It's a 44 auto mag. One was unfired and one fired. One serial number apart in the presentation kit. And I sold that a long time ago, but I got big bucks for that.
That's nice.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man.
I love it.
Yeah, well,
This is a Henry Big Boy 44 mag. This is Walter's. You want to tell us anything about it, Walter?
I've got a pretty decent collection of big boys. That's that one and the one in 45 Colt are the two that I end up shooting the most. And they're good shooters. They're simple and easy. This one was before they came out with the side gates, which I kind of wish I had. I really like the side gates. The tube is nice when you got to empty the magazine, but they're kind of a pain in the neck. I've launched that follower tube out into the halfway down the range more than once. You shove it down in there after you got 9-10 rounds in there, and then let go of it before you click the little pin in place, and boom, it goes out of there like a bolt out of a crossbow. Then you got to wait till it ceasefire to go get it. But good shooter, nice rifle.
Let's move on. To the next
I'm
one.
looking. I don't think I put the peep sight on that one. I've got a peep sight set. I usually end up putting those on the Henrys, but I don't think I ever got around to putting it on that one. So it's pretty much bone stock, other than the lever wrap.
Yeah, I love my Henry.
That's my favorite 44 revolver right there, and I've only had that about a year now, and that is a Ruger Bisley 44 Special. It was a dealer exclusive from Lipsy's, 5-inch barrel, and it's a shooter. It is just fun. I like the Bisley frame and grip better than the standard Blackhawk. And that 44 Special is just a fun one to go shoot. Man, I've bought a lot of ammo through that one, with pretty much the same load that CW is using. He was talking about 7.8 grains of unique, and I use 7.5, and that puts it out about 9 1/4 feet per second, and a nice low standard deviation. I mean, the gun, the load, and the brass, everything just loves that, Skeeter Skelton load. Pretty hard to beat.
Well, is your bullets hollow points as well?
No, although I have a hollow point mold for 44, but it's the MP mold. And the LW Bull there, he was talking about that mold, and that's a good mold too. And it's similar.
That being said, with the heavier bullet, 3/10 of a lighter load ain't gonna hurt nothing there.
Right. Yeah, that's a nice revolver right there you're looking at, if you can get your hands on one. And that's a Ruger Super Blackhawk, and that one was another dealer exclusive with the case hardened frame and non-fluted cylinder and all. 7.5-inch barrel, another good shooter. And that one I don't shoot anything but 44 Magnums through. That one's never seen a 44 Special, I don't think.
You said it's not a good shooter?
No, I said it is. It's another good shooter.
Oh, another. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you said for a second, too.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, look at that barrel. You can almost reach out there and whack the target upside the head.
Wow.
Well, you're really gonna when you see the picture of one I had. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that one. It's a beautiful revolver. The wood on the grips is original equipment. It's really nice looking grips on it, and
Beautiful.
that color case hardened frame is unusual for a Super Blackhawk.
It is. One thing I got against the regular Blackhawks is the shape of that trigger guard right there.
Oh, you and me both. I have to wear a glove because it comes back in and whacks the front of my fingers, and it doesn't take very many rounds, like 3. And if I don't protect my fingers, then I'm bruised and bleeding and sore, and I don't shoot again next week or something. But I wear a glove.
And the special with Full House Magnum loads.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about 7.5, 8-inch barrels. You feel like the Joker every time you pull it out.
Yeah. That's a Super Red Hawk. Yeah, I think that's one of the ugliest revolvers that Ruger has ever made, but it's a pretty good shooter. I got an issue with it right now. I may end up having to send it in. I got a timing issue. I don't know if the hand on it has gotten worn or something, but every once in a while it won't rotate the cylinder quite all the way up in the battery, and I got to reach up there kind of with my thumb and kick it in. Happens about once every 6 or 7 rounds, probably on the same cylinder. I don't know. I just detected it last time I shot it and haven't explored it yet. But other than that, pretty good shooting gun. It's massive.
Yeah.
That's probably the strongest 44 Magnum frame made.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's
massive.
It's a not a good looking revolver, I don't think, but it does shoot and it'll handle anything you can throw at it.
See, I like that when a friend of mine had one of those, and I like shooting it. Really.
Oh, it's good to shoot. It's just, and if you look at the grip on there, your fingers are way away from that trigger guard.
Yeah.
Compared to a Blackhawk.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to point out was the half moon grooves for your optics to be mounted. You don't see that on Blackhawks.
Correct.
They actually do have it. The Hunter model has it.
Yeah, you're right.
It has a whole rib.
Yeah, the Grizzly Hunter comes that same way.
Now that right there is just sexy.
Yeah, that's a -2. I bought that in about 1976, and I bought it side by side with a 27-2 at the same time. Another great shooter.
That is not an unattractive revolver.
No,
that is a very attractive revolver.
Yeah.
Now, Walter, that one before that Red Hawk is double action, right?
Yes.
If I remember. Okay.
Walter, you caught attention with that one.
That's a Birdie. And that's the 1875 Remington clone in 44 Winchester centerfire, or 44-40, depending on what company made your ammo. But and that one shoots really good. That's a fun one. I haven't shot that one in a while.
I like a revolver with a little bit of heft. I like that.
Yeah, that vein down there doesn't do anything. It's just Remington left that on there as a holdover from their cap and ball revolvers. I guess they thought it looked good, but I don't know. It serves no function. I think it'd look better with it off of there, but
it's a good skull cracker,
Yeah, I guess you sharpen the bottom of that vein, and you could use it for cracking your walnuts through it.
All right, now let's see if we can find Rebels in here.
Yeah, forgot to send you pictures of my cap and ball 44s. I got a couple.
There's my Super Red Hawk.
There you go.
Practically the same gun, only he's got the scope mounted on his.
That's a 9.5-inch barrel there. it's hard to hold up.
Yeah.
You really need a bag. And
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big guy, and that's still, it's hard to hold up. I've never weighed that gun, scope and all.
Well, theoretically, you should only have to shoot once with that one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It shoots really well. I've had it since the early 80s, mid 80s. That's a Marlin. I wish I had a better picture. I couldn't get back far enough, but that's an older JW Marlin, and really unchanged from factory. No, I didn't put any peeps on her or anything. Basically shot it a couple times, and it's remained kind of a rat queen for me, but I need to shoot it more.
Guys, I just realized we're past time calling out the side chat, so we better do that.
You know what we're going to type in, right?
Oh, yeah, too easy. 44.
44.
Absolutely. Yeah, Paul Loud MP molds are awesome. All right, so our buddy Andy 79Z28 is on the panel and in the side chat, and he was in there first with the 44. And look at that beautiful. Let me blow his up right here for a second.
Alaska Andy's 3 short.
Nice.
That's a Magnum Force Clint Eastwood special right there.
Yeah, buddy.
That's awful cool, Andy. Very nice.
And I missed the gun. I'm not sorry I sold it. Let's put it this way: when I bought it, I got the matching pair for just under $5, and I sold it for $4.
A good return.
You know, there was no way in hell I wasn't going to get rid of it. He wanted both of them. I wanted to keep the fired one, and he wanted them both because he wanted the same thing. He didn't want to shoot one.
Right.
For the value.
All right, so CW is on the panel and in the side chat. Mike the Rebel Hester is also, so is 6-shooter Texan. Our buddy Christian Grest is out there. Walker is on the panel. Crash Rack and Shoot. Dale Pogue. Bama Dad, where you at, bud? I knew I was missing somebody. Glenn Davis. Ron 2A Matters. Garage Guy. 879. IWS Bull. Edward Petty. Walks Fletcher. Casey Dolph. User. Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog. Kyle Lutz is on the panel. Boomstick Mark 5. Alaska 1 Andy. Last of 3 Jeep. Hillbilly Up is on the panel. Paul Loud. Bud with a gun. Reloading from the hot pot.
Hey, Gene.
Hey, Gene. Hobbies Hobo. GGW Outdoors. Bobby Barlow. Reloading from the hot pot. Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog. And I think that's late. M. Gabriel, you're just on time, man. You're just on time. I think we're caught up. Okay. Y'all want me to tell you about some of the cartridges, 44 cartridges, or should we see my 44s? Oh, there's Papa's place.
Let's look at your guns first, Jamie, and then we'll come back and talk about
I
the
just took one picture of all 3 of mine, so.
We showed you ours. You show us yours.
Wait a minute now.
Come on, Vanessa, show us your 44s.
Yeah, well,
Mine
I'd have
not
to go
wanting
44
do
short.
right.
I got one picture to share to you, Jimmy, when we get to it.
All right. You want to do yours first?
Go ahead, buddy.
Let me blow these up a little bit.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
All right, you see the lever action? That's my Marlin 1894. The light's bad. It's just been cleaned. All of them have just been cleaned. This is my favorite one. This is the Ruger Blackhawk flat top in 44 special. That's
What I'm talking about.
That's my favorite 44. It just shoots so dang good and it's so pretty. For the price I paid for that gun and for what I got when I got it, you know, I was on the edge, on the verge of not buying it. But man, it was in almost unfired condition when I got it, and you can see there's still no marks at all on that gun.
I ran that thing on steel plates and 25 yards and just whacking them. I mean, it's a great shooting gun.
That's my favorite. And then figure out what I'm doing here. There is my Ruger Super Blackhawk and 44 Magnum, and you can see, let me blow up on it. You can see it does not have the half moon places to put a scope. So
like CW said, the Hunter Blackhawk actually had that, but it's not as aesthetically pretty as yours.
Got a full rib down the barrel.
That's right.
Well, that's my 44 collection. Not as extensive as Walter's, but maybe it will be sometime. I know, Bull, that 44 special is just. One of you guys said that 44 special has been called the most efficient combat cartridge ever devised. Was that you?
That was me. Yep, that's what Jelly Bryce said, and Elmer Keith didn't say that, but he alluded to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Elmer Fudd said it though.
All right, you got your picture ready, Hillbilly?
Yeah, I sure do.
This better not be a high point.
Well, so first of all, when seeing 44, Walter told me, I thought I didn't know we were talking about guns, so I had a picture of a 44 28 36, and then I found out we were talking about guns, and then but this
whole lot of Rosie.
But yeah, this was what I had to pull up a stock picture because I had to sell mine when my kids were young. We needed diapers and baby food and in the middle of winter. But this is basically what I had. It was the Super Blackhawk 44 mag with the 10.5-inch barrel. And believe it or not, when I bought this used, it came with a shoulder holster. I could barely get my hand up high enough, but like my hand had to come up to my head to get it out of the shoulder holster.
I believe that.
But I absolutely love that gun. It was a shooter. I mean, it really was. It shot really nice. And
well, if I remember right, and if y'all remember right, when I was looking at that, looking for something in 44, and that Blackhawk was my first one, Walk suggested that I buy the 10.5-inch and have it cut down to even with the
underlug.
Yeah, so that the the ejection rod would kick the empties all the way out, and I should have done that, but man, the one I got, it's 44 special, so it won't be a problem ejecting. But
Yeah, nice. Well, when CW started talking about that GP100 shorty that he got, I called up my local gun store and said, "Hey, do you guys have one of those?" And they said, "No, but we got the longer barrel. We got I think it's the 5.5."
Yeah.
And I'm tempted until he told me the price tag for the new one. I said, "Yeah, I got a pretty good one already."
yeah, your Rugers ain't the cheaper choice anymore, but that's another time, another place. Yeah. One of the things I want to do was run down the history a little bit of 44s. If y'all can put up with me talking for a little bit. M. Gabriel said his dad was a 44 special advocate. So, yeah.
Guys, I got to bail. Got to deal with something.
Okay, Andy.
Thanks for being here, Andy.
Okay, catch everybody later.
See you, Doc.
Night, Andy.
Night, everyone.
All right, let's see if we can do this. And I may show y'all some of these pictures. I think our first, and if y'all know better, let me know. Our first 44 caliber was the 44 Smith & Wesson American. It was come out in 1869, 1870, and it used a heeled bullet like a 22.
Mm-hmm.
But its actual diameter was 434, and also known as the 44/100, and that was basically a modification of the 44 Henry rimfire from their 1860 lever action rifle. But it wasn't very powerful. It was a 205 grain bullet at under 700 feet per second, and it only produced 200 foot-pounds of energy. And they say that it was the first adopted metallic cartridge handgun was the Smith & Wesson Model 3 break-top revolver chambered to this round. But the next one came right away. The 44 Russian came out in 1870, and it was the Russian government wanted to place a large order for the Smith & Wesson Model 3s, and they didn't like the design of the cartridge, so they wanted to change it to the 44. They didn't like the lubricated heeled bullet and said that it attract dirt and debris. So Smith & Wesson changed the diameter to 429, and that's probably how we came to have a 429 diameter bullet and still call it the 44 caliber handgun. So they changed the standard load to a 246 grain bullet at 750 feet per second, and it was had more than 300 foot-pounds of energy. Still seems a little anemic, but it's a very short cartridge by the others compared to the others we've been talking about. It's less than an inch long, and Cimarron and Taylor's and Company make reproductions of the Model 3s. The next one in 1871, the very next year, was the 44 Colt. And basically it was a 451 inch heeled bullet with a case length of 1.1 inches and an overall length of 1.5 inches. Some reports have it serving with the Army from 1871 to 1873, and it used a 225 grain bullet powered by black powder to 640 feet per second, just over 200 pounds of energy. You can still get 44 Colt ammunition, and you can use 44 Russian dies adjusted to 44 Colt length. The next one was in 1873. A lot of big stuff happened in 1873, didn't it?
Mhm.
Yep.
Big year.
Yeah, major developments. That would be the 4440, also known as the 44 Winchester or the 44 WCF. And it began its life as a black powder round. In today's smokeless form, it commonly pushes a bullet in the 200 grain neighborhood. Hornady's cowboy load, for example, is a 205 grainer at 725 feet per second out of a 7.5 inch test barrel that yields 239 foot-pounds of energy.
It's a 427 bullet, isn't it?
Originally.
It doesn't say here.
Originally.
Originally, it was. Yeah.
And they say the 4440 lasted in original Colt revolvers until the early 1940s, and maintains a following today among Old West aficionados and cowboy action shooters. As such, a number of reproductions are available from Birdie, Cimarron, and Taylor's and Company, and it's still loaded in factory ammo from Black Hills, Hornady, Winchester, HSM, I don't know them, Buffalo Bore, Grizzly Cartridge, and Choice. RCBS, Lee, and Redding sell dies, and Lyman has a bullet mold. So get yourself out there. Then we have that was in 1873. Then we got a long flat period there. In 1907, we came out with 44 Smith & Wesson Special. Excuse me. The 44 Russian is its parent. Case is lengthened to 1.16 inches to handle the bulkier smokeless powders of its day, and also likely to prevent chambering the special and the older 44 Russian break top breaks. While it never achieved the status of, say, the 45 Colt, the 44 Special has had its share of fans, including such notables as Skeeter Skelton and Elmer Keith. 44 Special is not widely chambered, not counting historical reproductions. Today, only Colt and Charter Arms, only Ruger and Charter Arms offer new production models. Smith & Wesson and Taurus have produced specials in the past.
Good luck finding a Ruger.
And there's plenty of ammo out there. Then another skip in time for almost 50 years. In 1955, we came out with the 44 Remington Magnum. And y'all know that very well. And I don't have to tell you about it. 240 grain bullet at more than 1,500 feet per second for over 1,000 pounds of energy.
It will blow your head clean off.
Right. More powerful than previous 44s by several magnitudes. Today's 240 grain loads are a bit more sedate, in the 1,300 foot per second neighborhood, or less than 1,000 foot-pounds of energy. And And that's why folks like me, particularly, primarily shoot specials in our 44 Magnum guns. However, Federal introduced a new reduced load for self-defense, and Garrett lower recoil, hard cast ammo designed as a controllable option for bear defense. Then in 1971 came the 44 Auto Mag. Based on the 30-06 semi-rimmed case, it was developed by Harry Sanford to put 44 Magnum power into a semi-automatic. That semi-auto was the Auto Mag, which Sanford's company produced for a few years. The gun and its cartridge had a star turn, another Dirty Harry move, 1983 sudden impact. I thought it was Magnum Force, maybe not.
No, it's sudden impact.
Yeah. And those guns had problems jamming. And then there's one called the 445 Super Mag, and came out in 1986. Developed by Elgin Gates, primarily for handgun silhouette competitions, as well as for hunting. It's simply an elongated 44 Magnum, but it's able to push similar weight bullets faster and with more energy. And it was briefly chambered by Dan Wesson, with guns coming off the line in 2007. And Buffalo Bore still makes that in 2 loads. Then we have the 440 Corbon, COR-BON. Then in 2018, we have the 429 Desert Eagle, Magnum Research. And then we have the 44 454 JDJ Woodstalker. SSK Industries no longer chambers it. That's its parent company. When it comes to Wildcat handgun rounds, you can't simply skip one that's associated with the famed Wildcat developer J.D. Jones. According to cartridges, the 44 454 Woodstalker is a neck-down 454 Casull that pushes, listen to this, pushes a 300 grain bullet to 2,100 feet per second, or a 240 grain to 2,300 feet per second. That works out to, are you ready? 29, 37, and 28, 19 foot-pounds of energy respectively. And one that's not in this article, and this is an article from Handguns Magazine. It's called Honoring 44 Caliber Cartridges, Past and Present. What we didn't get listed here, and this is Handguns Magazine. They did not include the 444 Marlin, which is obviously and definitely a rifle round.
Jamie, can you focus in on this vintage, probably late 80s box ammo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
300 grain. Wow. Yeah. Big boys. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's my last box. They're not pleasant to shoot. Even out of that super black or super red hawk, they're I'm saving this for the zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add? Yeah, Glenn. We mentioned 445 Super Mag, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, you just did.
But the 44 caliber, in a modern 44 revolver is a cartridge that, it's a caliber that you can shoot a lot of different stuff in. As we've said, 44 Russian, 44 Special, and 44 Magnum, and all kinds of different, charges and powders and so forth that are usable in those cartridges. So anything from mild to wild, you can do with a 44, Magnum chambered revolver. You can just do a bunch with it. A 44 Special, you're not going to shoot the Magnum loads in it all. With a Ruger, you can load them up pretty darn stout, and still do a pretty good job. But it's a cartridge that, as Jamie's been telling us, has been around, that caliber for a long, long time. And there's a reason that it's persisted for so long, and that's because it's such a usable caliber. It's just one that we can all go out and shoot and have fun with, or we can go out and do some damage to the deer with.
As alluded to in Magnum Force, the Dirty Harry movie that Jamie was talking about, when they're target shooting, they ask how he stayed on target with that, and he said, "Well, I use zippy 44 Special loads." And
he said it was a light special.
Yeah, he
did.
He
said it's a light special, and that lets makes it more manageable. Whatever he said,
so. and a big 29. I mean, let's face it, a 44 Magnum is a combat round. Keeping that on target is going to be kind of rough. Right. Where a light 44 Special would be just right, especially in an end frame.
Well, and they kind of exemplified that in the movie too, because the rookie comes up and empties the cylinder in about 3 seconds, and all but one of them, went into a 3-inch circle down.
Right. They're all shooting 19s. They're all shooting 357s, and Harry's shooting the big 29, That was a good movie.
That was. I got to go watch it again. Now it's been a while.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Golly, that's full of stars too. That's Starsky and Hutch guy is the bad cop, one of the bad cops. The guy that played on Animal House is one of the bad cops. I forget their names. And then who's the bad police commissioner? Famous actor. God, I can't remember his name, but that's kind of a star-packed movie. Yeah. Those Dirty Harry movies are great.
Yep.
I always say Outlaw Josie Wells kind of bled into the Dirty Harry movies because Outlaw Josie Wells had all the great one-liners, and Dirty Harry movies did too. So, yeah.
Hal Holbrook, David Soul, and Hal Holbrook.
Yeah, Hal Holbrook. Yeah, thank you, thank you. And let's see. I think in Magnum Force, the one line was, "A man's got to know his limitations." Yeah,
it's great.
He says that as Hal Holbrook's car goes boom.
All right. So did we beat 44 to death tonight?
Nah, we brought it to life, man.
Yeah, I'm just glad you didn't have 45 night, because just with me, we'd be here for hours. Okay. I'm sure with Walter, we'd be here for another 2 hours. So,
well, if we ever do that, we'll have to have 45 Colt, and then we'll have to have 45
ACP. Yeah.
'Cause we
Yeah.
just did 45s and
Oh, we'd be here until next week, man.
If I did 45 cold, I'd still have to take a group picture just to
Oh,
get
yeah.
all in one pop.
Yep.
That's my favorite round.
I think we're gonna have to do that.
I
No,
took a
probably
I took
not.
a group picture once. See if I can find it here.
I don't have all that many. I got a half a dozen in 45 caliber, including that Uberti Model 3 clone. And
Walter, you live in California. A half a dozen is an arsenal. You
yeah, I know it. Yeah.
know?
We just got new lockup rules that went into effect this month too.
Oh Lord!
Every time we turn around, they're gonna
Don't
make
let
me lock my BB guns up, I think.
Don't let your kids pick their teeth with the 44. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Christian sent me some pictures, yo.
Well,
I'll get them.
he's probably got some cool stuff.
Yeah, Bama Dad, I know. A guy ought to never sell his motorcycles or his guns.
I'm going to be selling my motorcycle.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you heard that from the guy who now owns 0 motorcycles.
Yeah, my one of my business partners, Trent, after he had a wreck, not of his fault, his wife said, "You're done. You're done." He still got the Harley jackets and the all the stuff, but he sold his bikes. People don't watch for him anymore. I do,
No.
but so I'm looking while Jamie's pulling up Christian's pictures. I'm trying to earn enough money to make another powder order, right? And they've got some Magnum powders on there which hadn't been available in a while. Retumbo, H1000, Dincini Ramshot Magnum, 4831 Shortcut, which is a pretty popular caliber for big boomers.
Yeah, it's a good one for 27. I'm at 270.
Oh yeah, it's a good one for a lot of stuff. And 4831 regular cut is good for a lot of stuff. I'm probably going to use it in the 260 Ackley as a replacement for Reloader 19. Not that I'm out of 19. It's just that Alliant powder is really hard to get right now. So go ahead, Jamie, if you're going to show those pictures. I'm sorry. I digress.
Let's see.
I haven't heard Kyle comment. Is he chopping up squid or something?
No, Angel's phone started exploding as soon as she plugged it in, and I got muted.
Oh, okay. Explode.
Tell us about this, Christian. What can you tell us? It's a Smith and it's a 44 mag. I'm probably thinking it's a 29.
That's a performance center gun. Gotta be.
Yeah, that fluted barrel like that.
That's
Really nice.
Yeah, beautiful. But wait, there's more.
My 44s are being good little guns, and they're hanging out in their gun safe, not hurting nobody.
There you go.
That's very comforting to know, Kyle. Thank you. Oh yeah.
I'm on such a delay, guys. I don't see the picture till way after y'all do. There we go. That's pretty. I bet that torques your hand just a bit.
Yeah. You think rifling don't matter? You shoot a light, big load like that,
Yeah.
you'll find out.
Shoot one of them 300 grainers out of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think my full lead taco mold is I think it's like 296. It's an NOE.
Close enough.
Yeah. That thing is most favorable in the Henry lever action.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The shoulder takes it better than the wrist.
Yes.
That is a cool picture.
Great picture, Christian. Man.
Golly.
I'm trying to grab a couple of those from past 2 days. I got some really good video, showing that, but I'm trying to get a grab of that coming out of that Ruger of mine.
Look at that look. That's a grimace on Christian's face. That's just, he's like, "Don't."
There you go, man. That's cool, Christian. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, bull. H110, obviously.
I got a
Yeah,
buddy.
nature
Mine.
barrel unique would probably do that.
Yeah, definitely. I got a buddy of mine that's got an Alaskan and a 454 Casull, and it's so flippy. After 2 shots with Hornady ammo, it locks up the revolver because it's backed out the other bullets.
Dag no.
Oh God. Yeah, he's got forearms about twice the size of that. And
Wow.
and he can just shoot it one-handed if he wants to. He said it don't kick that bad. I was like, shut up, Matt. Yes, it does. You're a freaking gorilla. You can shoot that. And
You got to crimp your rounds with roll pins.
well, he doesn't load. I've taught him. Matter of fact, his reloading stuff's right over here in the corner. I've taught him how to reload some rifle, and he said, if I was going to reload that with pistol, what do I need? And I went, a heavy roll crimp. I mean, biting into the bullet. That's what you need for that pistol. Try a lighter load.
Yeah, my buddy's 500 Smith Magnum. The first rounds that we loaded for it, they just hurt. I mean, it was ignorant. I mean, the first time he pulled the trigger on it, his first words were, "Oh my God!" It was a 448 grain bullet, I think. I mean, just a massive bullet. And as soon as it was raining and we were under an easy up canopy, and as soon as he pulled the trigger, that canopy was instantly dry. That's how much concussion came out of that thing.
Woof!
And he just held that pistol by the handle and went, "I'm going to put this down now." I was like, "Are you okay?" He goes, "I think my wrist is broke."
Here's something that y'all might find interesting. This is from DSC 52. Y'all may not be familiar with him, but his brother is Reloader 762. So
Okay.
That's the Rossi LWC.
Mm-hmm.
And those are hitting the streets now. They're fairly popular for a lower type budget type gun.
James Pugh has one, I think, in 350 Legend.
I got one on the shelf in 300 Blackout.
So I might go with something like that, or maybe the Scout, CVA Scout, which is probably twice the price of that. But you know, that's definitely an option. Plus, it's already got the rail for a scope. You want a good brush deer killer? There's your ticket right there, sports fans.
That take care of the brush, the deer, and everything.
And not a whole lot of money, if we even know what that means anymore.
Really.
Money's just something that'll come and go again next week.
That's right. Yeah, I had a guy bring some stuff in on consignment today. He's finished third in the Nationals in the bench rest IBS. And he suckered Trent in on a Vortex Golden Eagle at a good price. And Trent said, I really ain't got that money. I got no business doing that. And I was like, hey, dude, you can live on Cheetos and Sundrop, you know. And he kind of laughed. And then the next day, and he brought in a beautiful revolver too. And we're talking about 44s, but I'm going to bring this up. He brought in a Smith & Wesson 529 Performance Center comped 357, and that thing with a Milt Sparks holster, and that thing, I had to try it on. Holster and all. I'm like, get this off me. I told Trent, get it off me. I mean, it's sitting there going, buy me.
Yeah, right.
And it's used. And it's still $1,200.
Ooh.
That's Performance Center. I mean, Smith knows when it says Performance Center, that means something with Smith. Yeah. They've done something to that gun. And the double action pull on that, I went to go stack it, you know, and just click it. And I went, click. Oh shit. You know, it's so smooth.
It's been Mitchell-act.
Yeah, it's been Mitchell-act. Exactly. I could empty them 6 rounds in a hurry. And then today he bought in a Night Force SVH hunting scope. And the Smith calls got less and the scope calls got more for us to sell. So, but I ain't got $1,000 to spend on a scope right now. I've looked around. I ain't got nothing to sell. I've got a kidney.
We've all got a spare one of those.
Yeah. They don't pay you for blood. At least not around here. But, you know, I thought about it. Really. It's a really nice. That's Night Force. For y'all that don't know, the Night Force SVH is their hunting line of scopes, and they're lower end scopes, and they retail in probably the 1,300s.
I was going to say they're lower end, but they're still high dollar.
They're super nice.
They got some killer glass in them too.
Oh my God. I can see into the future with that thing.
You can see the color 7.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got a standard duplex. And I was like, I love it. Get that away from me. Get it away.
And you can mount that on a cannon and it'll hold 0.
Oh yes. Yeah.
They're fantastic scopes, but good Lord, they know what they're worth.
I've got one. I'm very proud of that one. And I've owned a SVH and I let it go because I hated the reticle. This thing's got a perfect reticle. And I should have kept it, sent it back to Night Force and paid for a reticle change because I got it right. But anyway.
I've had one and I ended up getting rid of it. I pretty much sold the scope and gave the gun away with it.
There you go.
It was a 25-06.
There you
I
go.
gave the gun away.
Yeah, there you go. The scope was worth way more than the gun. And that's the way it should be. You know, that's the way it should be. You buy a $600 rifle, well, you ought to put a $1,200 scope on it. And
Right.
and Jamie, you'd be proud of me. I think I told you last week that I did look through an Arkin scope. It was an MOA scope. The guy bought it off of Amazon. He's just learning how to do precision shooting, and so he's on a budget. And he had a very nice MDT chassis Creedmoor, and he's just now seeing what hand loads will do. And he's just now learning gun handling. And I looked through his scope, and I clicked his turret. Very positive clicks. And of course, you did the review of the Monstrum when you were down here.
No, that wasn't a monster.
What was it?
That was the D&T, the one.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a
And
nice scope.
well, and I'm telling people that what you're seeing now is what us Gen Xers saw in the 70s, where everything that was made in Taiwan was junk. And then all of a sudden we got Dell computers, and guess what? Everything was made in Taiwan. And now we're seeing Chinese stuff. They can make as good a stuff as they want, or they can make as crappy as stuff as they want.
Exactly.
Knives, scopes, whatever. And the eye box was a little weird for me. I got it focused, but hey, for a budget scope, if a guy was getting into PRS, and a lot of these PRS matches they're saying we're going to keep everything equal, so you could only spend X on a rifle. And that way they don't have the one rich guy coming out there with some custom gun just absolutely whooping butt. And that's a reasonable option. You know, you could play the game with that. So from a scope snob, I'm saying, you know, it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. And I shot that. What did you have that, the one mounted on?
My 6.5 Creedmoor.
I didn't shoot that gun. I shot your 270, right?
Well, I hope you shot them both.
I can't remember. We shot a lot of stuff.
Was it green or black? Or
I can't
brown?
I can't remember.
We shot a lot of stuff. I remember Jamie. I let Jamie shoot my 6BR, and I was like, "It's dope. Just aim at that anything at 300." And he was looking through that night force, and he's doing his normal thing, and he's going, "That scope's nice and clear." I was like, "Yeah. Just shoot it." And he started shooting, hitting little stuff at 300. He just looked up at me, didn't say anything. He just grinned, a big old grin. I loved it. I love it.
Yeah, I've never owned a scope like that, and hope to someday. But you guys on a budget like me, I started with the Arkin SH4, and I still have the scope. It's not on a rifle right now, but we're going to fix that soon. And I also have this scope right there, if y'all can see, it's an Athlon Argos.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on a rifle yet either. But, you know, compared to the scopes that I've had in the past, which have all been just hunting scopes, I've never had anything tactical like that before. Yeah, the Arkans and the D&T will get it done.
Yeah. I was looking at some night vision stuff. A farmer asked me about thermal and night vision and the pros and the cons, and I was telling him what other customers that do a lot of coyote hunting had told me. Thermal's great. It's big money. It's hard to tell Fido from coyote. What's nice is if you got thermal and night vision working together, because a good night vision scope can identify detail better than thermal.
Yeah, thermal, you're just going to get a heat blob.
Right. Night vision, you actually see a collar on a German Shepherd, right?
Right.
So, and that's been a problem here. I mean, there's been several, I hate to say it, there's been several really good dogs shot because they came to a call, and dogs are predators, and mistakenly killed. Excuse me, unfortunately. And I saw a pard clip on today that clips on. It's about $650 ish MSRP. You clip it onto your scope, your existing scope,
Right.
and it's night vision. And there was a lot of English guys talking about it that do a lot of fox predation hunting in England, and the thing was pretty clear. And it's digital. It's a movie camera, I know, but for a little bitty unit that just clips on, woo! Something's got me tore up. Clips onto the belly of your scope. It's really nice, and you can just pull it off. You get extra clips, you can put it on another scope and go hunting with another rifle.
They are kind of cool, but
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time. I have a hard time staying up. So
I have a camera that has a screen that you mount to the scope on top.
Yeah.
You're basically looking through the camera through the scope. I've got one of those. Problem is that you got a screen about like that, and it's bright. It's shining on your face.
yeah,
Yeah.
this was not. I mean, it's an eyepiece.
Yeah, I know which one. I've seen those. They're newer ones.
Yeah, yep.
But it seems like it throws your eye relief. You have to move your eye relief back some. So
They've corrected that with the that Pard SVS. I think the battery is vertical, so it's shorter. It's a shorter unit.
Bless you, Rebel.
Oh, I get allergies. I get tore up.
Well, y'all ready to do the verse of the week?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Good night, Dwayne.
Good night, buddy. I got to get my Bible. It's over here somewhere. Here we go.
N.J. Anderson. I don't think we've done that yet, bud. Crash said you don't need a blessing, Rebel. You need an exorcism. I'm not really prepared tonight. I hope y'all forgive me. Been a busy week. But I'll share with you what I got. And my idea is this is a 6-verse passage, and what I want to do is cover the first half tonight, the second half next week, and wrap it up. If we can't wrap it up next week, maybe we'll do that the third week. Psalm chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, verse 3, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. Notice their possessive pronouns, plural possessive pronouns, their, THEIR, in both places is capitalized. All right, let's go back here. Verse 1, why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? Y'all know I like to share John MacArthur with you. But before we do that, let's set some of these references. There where we see nations with a lowercase n, what that is referring to is Gentiles. Gentiles are any people or nations that are not Israel. And when we see that word rage, why do the nations rage? If you look in your center reference column there in your Bible, which I do, it says throng tumultuously. And when I read that definition for rage, to throng tumultuously, the first thing I thought of is the way we have our riots today. It's kind of unruly. And then a vain thing. Our people and the people plot a vain thing. A vain thing is referenced there as worthless or empty. In other words, you're not getting anywhere. And let's read MacArthur's note there. To plot a vain thing, he says, this is the irony of man's depravity, devising, conspiring, and scheming emptiness. And he has three references, verses, Psalms 38:12, Proverbs 24:2, and Isaiah 59:3 and 13. This section is entitled Messiah, the Messiah's Triumph and Kingdom. And to get into this and set it up for wrapping it up next week or the week after that, Psalm 1 is said to introduce individuals to God and individuals. And then it's said that verses 1 and 2 introduce the Psalter. Verses 1 and 2 share introducing the Psalter. And Psalter is basically another words for the Psalms. Not the musical instrument, which I found out too, doing research on this passage. But Psalm 1 introduces us to God in an individual basis. Psalm 2 introduces us to God in as nations, as countries. And as we think of MacArthur's note here, this history is full of this stuff. And we look today and we see the wars in Israel and Ukraine. Dr. Guzik there says that the psalmist seems genuinely mystified. The nations have no reason to rage against God, and they have no benefit in raging against him. Their opposition against God is nothing but a vain thing. You know, we're proud by nature, we're haughty. And anytime we try to exalt ourselves, we move against God, and moving against God and worshiping yourself over God is idolatry, in my opinion. And that's me. That's not these two Bible scholars we talk about every week. Let's look at verse 2 there. It says that the kings of the earth set themselves, the rulers take counsel together, and against the Lord and against his anointed. So, MacArthur again, nations and peoples led by their kings and rulers, in verse 1, direct their hostility toward the Lord and his anointed one, the consecrated and commissioned mediatorial representative referred to David in a near sense, and Messiah, i.e., Christ, in the ultimate sense. So when we read in verse 2 there, against the Lord and his anointed, and that's talking about David first and then Christ Jesus. But think about you remember I just said how man is proud and haughty by nature. It says here, the kings of the earth set themselves. In other words, they get all pimped out in all their fancy smancy robes, and then they go sit on their thrones. They sit themselves. They are staking their claim to their imperial position. And the rulers take counsel together. In other words, they got buddies that are doing the same stuff, right? And they all sit there and they plot really against each other. But anytime nations are plotting against each other or they're at war with each other, they are actually rebelling against God. And leaders that do this are dragging their populace along with them. And then in verse 3, it says, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords. Their bonds, their cords there. John MacArthur says, mutinous mankind, instead of understanding that these are God's love bonds, in Hosea 11:4, view them as yoke bonds, like in Jeremiah 5:5. Since the time of Babel, Dr. Guzik says, men have continued to band themselves together against God. Their mistaken belief is that two or more men united against God have a better chance than one man set against God. Against the Lord and his anointed, they oppose both the Lord and his anointed. Anointed speaks of Christ, the anointed one, since Jesus is the perfect representation of the Father in John 10:30 and in 14:9. Opposing God the Father is to oppose Jesus. If you are against Jesus, you are against God the Father. Let us break their bonds in pieces. Those who oppose the Lord and his anointed think of God as a bondage bringer. This attitude is evidence of spiritual insanity, because God is a bondage breaker, not a bondage bringer. And he quotes Charles Spurgeon there, who says, to a graceless neck, the yoke of Christ is intolerable, but to the saved sinner, it is easy and light. We may judge ourselves by this. Do we love that yoke, or do we wish to cast it from us? And that kind of cuts to the quick, Dr. Spurgeon. I'm telling you. Charles Spurgeon was a great preacher. You guys that are not familiar with him, there's a lot of his sermons that are in print. Some of his quotes are absolutely beautiful. And I love the way he put that. To a graceless neck, the yoke of Christ is intolerable. Remember, Jesus told us that his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So I didn't show y'all verse 3. Let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. That's going to be our verse of the week. Questions or comments?
Sounds like it's easier to be a good person than a bad person. That's
And
the yoke.
yeah, obviously it's easier and it's what God wants and expects from us. But even as early as Psalm 2, and even earlier than that in the prophets, you know, why do we do the things we do? We see the forecast of not just King David, but also our Messiah, Lord Jesus. So, what you got, Walter? I know you got something cooking on your mind.
Well, when you called up this passage, I thought to myself, man, I don't even remember ever reading this, and it probably has been since I was in about the 8th or 9th grade. When even before that, maybe I think I was in 5th grade when I got this Bible. And so while you were talking, I kind of read through the rest of this, and I said, yeah, okay, I remember this. And I almost hate to say this, but there's parts of this psalm that I don't like. And the parts that I don't like come in some of the subsequent verses that talk about saying here, take an iron rod and beat these people into pieces. The naysayers. Yeah. I'm just going to say that it goes against my grain a little bit. I'd rather see the preaching directed towards, let's find out what's bugging these people and save them and bring them back. That's just me. So that this particular song kind of goes against my grain a little bit for that part of it. And I guess are we certain that it was David who wrote this one? In the Book of Psalms, it never attributes it directly to anybody in particular, but I think somewhere, as I recall, in the New Testament, it comes back and says something about that it was King David who wrote this.
I mean, David wrote so many of them. Man.
Oh, he was busy. They didn't even have ballpoint pens then, and he was busy writing.
But there again, Walter, you want to put it in context, but there's really not with Psalms, there's not really a context you can put it in,
Well, let me help you out with my opinion right here about that. Remember what I would say to your comment. It goes back to this first phrase right here. Mm-hmm. Why do the nations rage? See,
bless you, James.
Back then, nations referred to Gentiles. Remember I said that? The concept back then was you're either Jewish or you're not. You're either one of us or you're against us. And it's like, I that's not my approach either. I'm the way one of my former pastors said, I'd rather love you into heaven than scare you out of hell. But I'll do what I have to get you home with me when this is over. So there's that.
This is, it's a wonderful tome. I mean, there's just so much in there, and I don't think you could find a man who would agree with everything that's written in there 100%. There are just things that, I think that society and humankind has progressed in some ways, but we've definitely degressed in others, and it's just, to me, I would rather say, let's find out why these people are raging around and wandering aimlessly and have no sense of direction, and let's help them out and bring them into the fold. That's just me.
Walter, what you saying? I had to refresh my mind there, but also when you talked about picking up your rod and your staff, from my perspective, David being a sheep herder, he knew what the rod and the staff was,
Right.
and for protection, for safety, and stuff like that. So, I wonder, if he means when you have your flock and the lion or the bear or whatever's coming, you use your rod and your staff. And I just wonder if that's what he was insinuating towards. But yeah.
Well, but he continues on and doesn't just say slap him upside the head with your staff.
Yeah.
He says tear him to pieces like you would a potter's pot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, destroy them is what I read in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes slap Spartan right there. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, guys? Just to kind of sit around and debate over some of these things and get different perspectives and so many different ways to interpret every passage that's in there. But I rejoice in the differences of opinion too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's fun to kind of sit back and not debate, but discuss what was meant in certain passages, and I think it educates us all when we do that. Makes us more aware of what was going on at the time, which a lot of people try to read the Bible. I've seen a lot of people take it some of the stuff literal that shouldn't be literal, and some of the stuff not literal that really should be literal. And it's nice to talk about little nuances. It's Sunday school. It's Sunday school.
It is.
And
Right.
that's what's cool about it. You sit there and talk about it. And if David wrote it, I mean, David wasn't flawed. Was he at all? No. David was a man, and he had some violent tendencies, and he had even though he was chosen, he had his flaws. So yeah, maybe David did write it.
I have listened to several preachers and scholars and people around campfires for a long time. And there's a lot of, be kind to others, do unto others as you would do to you, love thy neighbor, and all that stuff. But there's also passages in this great book that say, if you're going to go down this path, do not hesitate. Go with everything you've got and keep going.
Yeah. And
So,
that would be David. I mean,
there's both ways. I mean, if you're going to go all out.
yeah. David didn't mess around.
Well, you got to remember the king of Israel was chasing him down to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
There's that part.
Right. He didn't mess around. Everybody was out to kill him. So I can understand you were a Jew or you were everything else at that time,
Right.
I mean, David, from all accounts, was a poet, a musician, and that's how he knew how to express himself. And so, I think that's a lot of the, reason, there's so many Psalms recorded, from David.
I was looking for a particular verse, but
David comforts me about my own sin, you know, that he coveted another man's wife and sent him off to war to die. And that's very human, very human. Someone would say it's real easy to judge. How could a man do that? Well, it's real easy. Women have made men do stuff like that for a long, long time. You know, makes you crazy. David, to me, is one of the most real people in the Old Testament. I mean, he's real. He did great things. He did bad things. You got to love him for it, you know.
He was human.
Yeah, he sets an example for us. I mean, you read about Jesus and you can't compare yourself to him. You can't. I can compare myself to David. You know, he's kind of realistic.
Well, the one thing that David really, I mean, yeah, he was human and, you know, all that. But the one thing that is said about David, you know, he's a man after Jesus' own heart. You know, when he did realize he sinned or did something, like he was like
he atoned for it.
Yeah, I mean, he was always, you know, looking for that redemption, you know, and
he had sin in his life, but he kept short accounts with God.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well, Jamie, you sure did get some conversations inspired with this one tonight.
Yeah. Well, anytime I imply my own life to a biblical verse, it's going to inspire conversations.
All right, boys, we got to clear the deck here for Chad and the boys coming on at 10. We've done talked too long, but yeah, I love talking Bible.
That went by quick.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Hillbilly, you need to go first.
Yeah, I can. Either way, see, we got Gunsberry Therapy coming up tomorrow night, 9:00 Central, 10:00 Eastern. I just had a suppressor, a new one that the company sent me. They just come out with called a Pipsqueak. It's for 22 long rifle rimfire, and it's really a cool little suppressor. I believe it's 3.5 inches long and only weighed 1.5 ounces.
Wow.
I put it on that Rossi Rio Bravo, and wow, I mean, that right there is my small varmint gun. I went ahead and put a light on it and everything after shooting that. I'm like, wow, I really like this, you know, and literally on the video, we had some barn cats down there playing on the wood by the berm, and I'm shooting and I'm watching them too. So, you know, make sure they don't run down there. But I'm shooting and they're where I'm shooting at, and it didn't even faze them. I mean, they're just playing and messing around, didn't run off, nothing. And I mean, I was like, this is amazing. So anyway, I'm thinking, man, this would be a great squirrel gun too, you know?
Just wait, Hillbilly. You shoot Carl and he falls out of the tree, and Jim looks over and goes, "Hey, Carl, what's happening?" You know?
Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, we got some more videos coming out too. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thank y'all for having me here. It's been a great show, great side chat and panel. And so thank you all very much.
Well, thanks for being here, brother. We appreciate it. Kyle, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm sorry I was late. Like I said, I got hemmed up, but I made it. come sliding in sideways, and then mayhem ensued with the wife's phone. But thanks for having me on, and thanks for everybody in the side chat. Man, it was really popping tonight, and we had some good conversations and saw some really cool guns. It was really good time. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks for being here. Walter, what do you got coming up this week?
Well, we got Moldy Monday coming up, and I've got a bullet that I cast up to shoot out of both 9mm and 38 Super, which we're going to do with that one come Monday. And Wad Cutter Wednesday is the second half of that 410-208 wad cutter from Lee for 41 caliber. So we're going to shoot those as a good one too. That one shot really well. And let's see what else. I've got I put out a video last week without me talking or doing anything, just loading some 44 specials on the Dillon 550, and I've got several of those kinds of videos on the shelf. I might put out a few more of those. That was kind of well received, so we might do that. I've got a Free the Few Friday coming up. All of a sudden, I've got buckets and buckets of bullets on the shelf that need to go downrange, so we got to start doing some of that again too. Anyway, hope for some good weather. I got to go to the range twice next week because I couldn't go this week. So that's what's happening around these parts. Who else is next? Hey, Rebel, you ready to go? What do you got coming up, buddy?
Oh, getting ready to prep brass for an upcoming build. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I know I need to turn necks, and it's going to be a sweet little Model 7 thumbhole stock 222. I can't wait to show that thing off. I wish I did more videos like you guys do, but I'll try to make one, and maybe YouTube won't take it down because they've attacked everything I ever did. So I sort of gave up. But hopefully tax season kicks in pretty soon. And we had a lull from the in the business from, everybody buying for Christmas and hunting season and this and that. And then it goes bam and drops off. And then it picks back up and slowly goes up to turkey season. Then it bam again, during the summer, which is why I started the fly shop. And a lot of guys, I don't talk about a lot here because this is all about shooting, but I've been tying flies for the last 2 years. And my wife says, I'm glad you're not into nuclear missiles because you become an expert at it in 2 years and just through repetition. And I've been tying flies, and I have my heroes on YouTube and watch them. And I've tied some really nice flies, and I've sold a lot of them. I had a guy give me a custom order who doesn't even fly fish. He uses a little spinning rod, and he bought $50 worth of Clouser minnows in a certain color, hot pink and white, and for spotted bass. And that little part of my business is moving along, and I started it, and it's cool. It's really cool. The fishing community is blessed me, and we'll just see what happens with it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, Six, what you got?
All right. Well, thanks for letting me on again. We do have a cowboy shooting in the morning. So we're going to go do that. Don't have much going on other than trying to get some stuff ready in my reloading room after I had to straighten it all up after all the remodeling and stuff. Do have a wad cutter Wednesday, air gun wad cutter Wednesday coming up. And it's going to be some more of the ones with different sizes of the same pellet. And the ones coming up, the name is has 10 and X in it, So That brand's going to be coming up here next. 3 different ones. So that's about it for me. So who's left? CW?
Pretty cool. Yeah, CW's next.
I got some more videos coming. I got some more stuff on that new 44. I got some more stuff on the 6.5 JDJ. Having a lot of fun with that. So stay tuned. I got a bunch of shorts coming in the next few days, and just having a good time with these new cartridges.
Cool.
Very good. I'm interested in that 6.5 PRC. So anyway, we want to thank all you guys that's left over in the side chat this evening. Thank y'all for watching. You guys on the panel, thank you so much for being here. I can't do this by myself. And, nobody would watch if I tried it. So we appreciate y'all. And we'll leave y'all with this. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.